Hello and welcome back to Stop and Go F1 with an F1 news video, and it's a news story I imagine you've all heard by now, so it's not breaking news, but it's breaking news! The Imola Grand Prix has been cancelled due to severe weather. Now this has been a thing that's been threatened for the last few days, and I think today was D-Day. The decision had to be made today, otherwise they were going to get into some trouble. And basically what's happened is it started raining the other day in Imola, and it's never stopped, and it never will. The flooding is awful. I'm sure you've seen the photos and the videos by now of the flooding that's going on in Imola. Of course, thoughts are with everyone who lives around there because it looks awful. It's unimaginable how that must feel to be in that kind of situation. It looks dreadful, and it looks like it's not going to stop for quite some time. It's a tough one, but of course this also means that the F1 cannot go ahead. There was images that were released today where you can see the track looks okay, to be fair, but then they pan across to the paddock and it's under about a foot of water. So yeah, it's not great, and F1 have made the right decision here, which I think is an opinion which is generally held with the majority of the fans. Obviously, I'd love to have a race this weekend. I'm coming to you across a few videos because there's F1, F2 and F3 supposed to be going ahead this weekend. And also there was the big upgrades that were coming as well. And I'd love to sit here and talk to you about all of them. But, you know, the safety has to come first. And that's not just the safety of the drivers, but of, you know, the teams, but also the fans who are coming along to see it as well, and the people who lived in surrounding areas. And there was lots of road closes and all that kind of stuff. So the right decision was made to cancel the race. Obviously it's upsetting, but it's the right thing to do. And we now must move and look ahead to the next race, which will be Monaco, which raises a whole new bunch of issues as well, because with the flooding, a lot of roads are closed, and the majority of the team's infrastructure is already there in terms of like your massive trucks and that. So it's going to be a challenge getting them out of Imola and to Monaco, which that's going to be the biggest challenge present to get them there for next week. Secondly, looking at the weather forecast for Monaco, it appears that the storm is moving along. I don't know if it's the exact same storm, but they're predicting lots of heavy rain in Monaco for next weekend as well. So who knows? I may be back here this time next week telling you that Monaco has also been cancelled, which would be dreadful. We'll go from the first triple header to the first triple header of the season, to the first ever triple header to have all three races cancelled due to rain. Talking just generally about Formula 1 now, because there isn't, you know, I was going to do a news video on Friday, but really there is no news apart from this as of yet. If more news does come out, I'll come back up here and talk about it, but this is really it as it stands. In terms of upgrade corner, we have no real details of what's going on, but there were upgrades coming to Mercedes. We knew that for sure. There's rumours of Aston bringing along some big upgrades as well, and maybe even some lovely stuff for Haas, which I know we all love there. The now most interesting thing for me is this big new upgrade for the Mercedes, where they've revitalised half the car. This is their new concept. Gone is the old one, blah, blah, blah. The first time they ever drive that competitively will be at Monaco now, in Free Practice 1 for Monaco, and it might be in the wet. And I mean, that's not the ideal place to gather data. Imola will be a great place for them to gather data because it's a classic racetrack. It has, you know, it has some straights on it. Also has slow corners, fast corners, medium speed corners. Everything that you need to test a new car was at Imola. It's a great place to launch the car. But now moving to Monaco to have your first session in a new car, that's going to be a tricky one for the Mercedes team, especially the drivers. Especially someone like Lewis Hamilton, who, when you look at his record around Monaco, I know he has won it, is it 2 or 3 times? But in comparison to other tracks, Monaco is not one of his stronger ones. He does seem to struggle there from time to time. So it might be a bit of a challenge for Lewis to get into this brand new car in Monaco next weekend. But all eyes in Monaco will be on Fernando Alonso, who's been talking a big game about how he believes that Aston can win Monaco. Can he do it? I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but I'm excited to see it. As I said, obviously annoyed there will be no race this weekend, but it is the right thing to do. and we'll move towards Monaco for next week, and I hope I'll see you there too. In terms of what videos are going to come out this weekend, probably none, unless any big stories come out, because I haven't got anything planned this weekend, because there's going to be a race this weekend, and I was going to do videos on, you know, the race and qualifying and the F2 and the F3, which is now all gone. So this is the video for this week. I hope you've enjoyed. We'll be back next weekend, hopefully for the Monaco Grand Prix. I can't wait to see you then. See you then. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.